Guess what? Guess who's back? Guess who's back in the house? Click, clack, and about. Brad and Roger!
Brad and Roger are back. They weren't very active, though, I hate to say. But we'll get to that. We'll get to
them. They were sleeping for most of the issue or all of the issue. But they're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're so happy to have them. And we're back, too! Welcome back to Simply Amazing! I am Lisa, a.k.a. the OG Nocturne. And, of course, I have with me the fabulous, wonderful, and she is repping the job she works for right now with that fabulous shirt that she is wearing. Her name is Lauren. She is looking fly. Hi, girl.
What's up? Yeah, no. So I got the sweater from work, and I wasn't even technically supposed to, but they had extras at one of the offices I was at, and so I was like, "Can I have one?" They're like, "Oh my gosh, we should have gotten you one, but here!" And it's so comfy. Like, even if I stopped working for this company, I would probably still wear the sweatshirt because it's just so nice and cozy.
Can I tell you that, like, nothing makes something cozier than when it's free? Like, legit.
Amen. If it's free and it's soft and it's a little big on you, so you got wiggle room,
yes.
It's wonderful.
That is the best, right? I personally am wearing a sequin caftan, so that's where I'm at right now.
You look amazing. You look like you could take on the universe right now. I'm here like, can I just be on the couch?
Girl, I am Margali Zardos of the Winding Way. That's who I am right now.
I knew it. It's a Simply Amazing reveal, everyone.
That's it. Show me your blue babies. I'm adopting them all. You. I'm adopting all your blue babies.
I love it. Do you want to adopt like the babies that me and Kurt from Another World have, since we're going to get married and have kids? Because listen, we're going to have like a gazillion, and I don't have the time to balance them all out.
Listen, I have to put a limit on how many blue babies I'm going to have to adopt, because I got to be reasonable about it, okay? So be safe. Be safe. I'm going to send some condoms over to that AU. How about that?
At some point, I'm going to probably just convince him to get a vasectomy. I'm all about it, babes. Just
listen. Yeah, and going to our sponsors, we are sponsored by Trojan.
Trojan, call us.
Right? Seriously.
I would take that sponsorship. I just want that made very clear. Anything to do with like sexual health and all that stuff, please sponsor us. I will hype you up.
Sexual health and mental health. That's what we need.
Yes, and yes. We just figured out. So sponsors, call us now that we are more than willing and able to talk you up. We'll do it here.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the issue because we got shit to talk about right now. Yes. So we start straight out the bat. We start out with our goddess, Margali. She's showing up for tea with Amanda / Jermaine, and Brad and Roger did not answer the door. They did not come. They were terrible butlers, sleeping on the job. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? She's like, this is not good. This is not great. This is like when Ashton, I was about to make a really bad joke.
I love how you just stopped yourself. You're like, let me check myself.
I was going to say, this is like when Ashton Kutcher showed up and his girlfriend was murdered, but like, oh, that's a really awful joke.
Yeah,
guys, I had 2 glasses of wine before we started this, so I'm in rare form. So please feel free to cancel me after this episode. This is going to be really bad. I'm so sorry.
You're doing great. You're doing great, hon.
Thank you. So she shows up, and guess what? Nightmare is there, and he has beat the shit out of Amanda. Like, legit, just beat the shit out of her.
Just fucking rude. And before we get into what the hell is happening there, can we just talk about how great Margali looks, like, the second we see her in this issue? Like, she looks fucking badass. And the narration I really enjoyed with her, because we see some narration where she's walking through and she's trying to find Amanda and stuff. And there's some narration that says, she's been both good, she's been evil, but through and through, she's always been a mother. And that stood out to me and reminded me of how much you've spoke of her, Lisa, and how you're like, at the end of the day, that's her biggest thing, is she's a mother. So that was so cool. Like, your feelings on her are literal canon. They're not just your feelings.
Yes. Yeah. And anybody who is a fan of her will agree that, like, it's her first instinct, her first love has always been her children. And the only reason she ever had beef with Kurt was because Kurt murdered her firstborn child. That was the only reason. And then when she found out the circumstances behind the murder, she forgave him because it was an accident and because Kurt is her youngest child. So so like she's a mother first and foremost. So I just like part of me, the only thing I want to like pick on in this is I don't love that she's calling her Amanda, because I feel like the Amanda thing, like Margali named her Jermaine, like that's her name. But I guess I don't know. I guess you can kind of make the like you can make the argument that like Amanda's chosen name or Jermaine's chosen name is Amanda, blah 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 blah. I guess I don't know. You can make a lot of arguments about it. But I don't know. Part of me, it goes back and forth. It's very messy. The whole Amanda Jermaine thing, I think, is very messy. Because she chose Amanda when she was trying to fool Kurt into believing she was a different person. But then when you go back and, like, it goes back and forth. So, I don't know. Writers make different decisions. I don't know. I'm going to forgive it because who cares? Moving on. But I don't know. It's just weird. But yeah, Nightmare's
Let's get back to Nightmare being a little twerp. And
he like literally beat the shit out of this girl. I mean, like, this is like
this is awful, man. That portrayal of her, I was like, man, that's one of the worst images I've seen of her. Like that.
This is. I mean,
I did not like it.
I mean, this is like some hateful eight woman beating shit going on right here. This is some Quentin Tarantino woman beating shit going on right now. Like,
yeah, it was not great. But basically, you know, Margali gets in there. She's like, "The fuck are you doing, man?"
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that they chose Nightmare, because Nightmare was Chris Claremont's like first choice to be Kurt's father after Mystique.
I wonder if that was on purpose. I bet it was.
It could have been. I mean, there's a lot of reasons they would have chosen Nightmare, but it could have been, too, because there's lots of different characters they could choose. But yeah, but then moving on from there, we have a little scene change, and now we're back in Winseldorf, and oh my God, what's going on? The whole circus is burning down. There are people everywhere, and Kurt's running around, like, trying to figure out who's dying, who's hurt, and, you know, Christine is helping, and Wolverine's helping, and then there's the fire eater, and he's like, oh my God, like, someone's, like, they're trying to find people, they're trying to find a sword, and blah, 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 and, like, and it's just madness. It's absolute madness.
Yeah. That's all I got there. There's literally nothing special to me there. Honestly, I'm excited to talk about the issue after this point a lot, because it's even more chaotic. Like if you're reading this issue and those of you listening, if you guys read this issue and you're like, oh my God, this is insane. It is at the time, but just wait for more, guys.
Oh yeah, the next one just wait. So we'll bust through this kind of quickly then. So we get a little backstory here. We see that Kurt. Now this is kind of new, but so we get a little backstory about Kurt going. Kurt leaves Germany. He goes to Florida. He joins Amos Jardine's circus in Florida. We get a little a cute little side about with Scott and Emma, which I thought was kind of cute, where Emma's like, while you're playing Dr. House in there, trying to tell everybody they have lupus, you know, Kurt just stole your fucking Blackbird, idiot. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Basically, after that event, Kurt, the event when they're doing the circus, there was stuff about like a sword and stuff, and they're like, why are they trying to get a sword? So Kurt has an idea now, and he's going to investigate. And of course, Logan Chippers, of course, Logan has to go along with Kurt for, as he details, a very private issue that needs to be handled without all the other X-Men. Of course, Logan has to be there with him.
And freaking Christine is the third wheel, and Christine has to ask questions about everything. Like, why can't you just ask Scott for permission? And Logan's like, can you just stop asking fucking questions about
Please just shut the fuck up and
you
enjoy
are not
the ride.
one of us. You are not one of us. Stop. Enough. But we get more exposition. We get more backstory. This is the most that Kurt has ever looked like Andrew Garfield in this like backstory. I love it. But we find out that he moved to Florida. He decided to join this circus with Amos Jardine, and Jardine is a piece of shit, and he threw Kurt into the freak show instead of letting him be I don't love this kind of backstory. I don't love the freak show backstory. I give it a pass in this because it's a very small part of his backstory. Several other, and we covered this in the in that one-off issue that we don't like to talk about, that we did a whole episode about, that we'll never talk about again. But some other people like to do a whole, like, he was always in a freak show, but he wasn't. I'll give this a pass because it's like, it was a tiny part of his history. But yeah, he ends up in a freak show, and, you know, they go down, he gets broken out of the freak show by a little boy who turns out is a mutant who has like a Caliban type power, who can like tell who other mutants are and everything. And then, you know, we get like hand glider Kurt, who's like flying through the air with the greatest of ease.
Yeah.
to go find out what's going on with Hardin. And it goes back and forth between here and now. I'm not going to go through the whole thing like page by page, but it goes back and forth between here and now. But essentially, when Kurt finally gets to the now of it all, and he gets to the circus, the circus is like a shell of what it once was back when he had first joined it. Everybody's kind of walking around like zombies. He doesn't understand really. It just doesn't feel like what it once was. And we get back to what's going on with Jermaine or Amanda and Margali, and Nightmare even is like, yeah, I'm looking for this fucking sword. So I don't really understand why. I don't know what's going on, but
Nightmare's basically like, I don't really know what you guys are talking about. Like, I'm just here. And they're like, well, you're the one that's evil. And he's like, I just do whatever. Like, I'm immortal. I just go wherever I need to, essentially. But he has no idea why he's there is the most important part. So you would think someone like Nightmare would know exactly what he's doing at all times. So the fact that he doesn't really know what's happening is very, very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And then Amanda's like, oh, we gotta let Kurt know that people are looking for the soul sword, which is like, why would Kurt need to know? Like, what does he have to do with the soul sword?
Right.
So he finally finds Hardin, and Jardine is just disgusting and old and gross and covered in flies. And of course, he is, just unpleasant in general. And Nightcrawler is Kurt's trying to explain to him, like, this, like, I've come bearing bad news. I've come to tell you that there's some bad things coming for you. And Hardin's like, I don't give a shit. Like, if I'm gonna die, like, look at me.
Which is so interesting because we get the backstory in this issue as well of, kind of what that jackass put him through, and the fact that, he came, once he got help to escape essentially from another mutant that was there, he went to that guy and said, hey, look, like, you can get your shit together in 2 weeks. When I come back, you're going to be fine. But if not, I'm going to get you. And we later see that at this point, when he's going back, that Kurt's like, damn, I really wish I could have kept my promise to come back in 2 weeks to make sure he had gotten his shit together, but he couldn't because of the shit that came up with Steven and all that. So it's interesting to me that he still goes back to this guy, and you kind of get some self-narration with him where he's like, yeah, this guy's pretty much a piece of shit, and I kind of wish I could have come back and gotten him in line, but at the same time, like, I'm still going to warn him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he didn't have to. He didn't have, like, he's coming back to him to warn him, like, there's something bad coming your way. Like, this already hit my other circus. It's going to come to you next. And Hardin's basically like, oh, whatever. I mean, if something's going to kill me, let it kill me. And guess what's coming? Man-Thing.
Man-Thing, man. I didn't expect that shit. Oh, I don't see Man-Thing in anything. So the fact that I'm just like, what's up, Ted? Like,
I know. Not Thing Man. Man-Thing.
Yeah. Man-Thing. The poor guy's never gotten the recognition that Swamp Thing has. I don't know much about Man-Thing, but I can tell you more about Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about Man-Thing. I just know that Swamp Thing, I remember when I was a kid, Swamp Thing had a fucking, was it a TV show or was it a movie?
I think it was a bad movie.
Heather Locklear was in it. I remember that.
It was probably a bad movie, I would guess.
I just remember.
I'd have to look it up.
I remember being so grossed out by his butt.
What?
I was a kid. A kid.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look at it, but like this sounds so bad. Now I'm just gonna call myself
I just remember being like, he's got a swampy butt. Like, his, like,
but like that.
What's it like to wipe his butt?
I mean, true. Realistically, you're right. But like in other incarnations of him, like the New 52 and stuff, I'm like, he has such a cute butt. So hearing that, like, you saw another version and you're like, that's nasty. I'm like, you're probably more right than I am.
Can I tell you, now that I think back to the 80s, like, there's a reason I love Nightcrawler. It's because the 80s was full of, like, hot women falling in love with monsters. Because, like, there was Swamp Thing. And then there was that fucking show Beauty and the Beast that came out with Linda Hamilton. Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was a big show when I was a kid. Like, this is why I love Nightcrawler. Because there are all these shows about hot women who fell in love with monsters.
I'm so glad you recognize that you're a hot-ass woman. I love this for you, Lisa.
Yes. Send in your resumes, gentlemen. I'm looking.
Ladies, you can try. She usually doesn't roll that way, but you can try.
You can try. Listen,
I'll give you tips.
I've had 2 glasses of wine, so 1 or 2 more. We'll see what happens.
Damn it, Lisa.
Anyway, let's move on to issue 10. So we didn't even mention that we were covering issues 9 and 10.
It's in the title. We have really, really wonderful, patient, simply amazing listeners that put up with us not doing things orderly all the time.
That is tea. That is true. All right, so you love this issue, so why don't you take the lead on this one, girl?
Well, I don't remember it bit by bit, to be honest. So I can't really walk through. I don't have it pulled up. I could try pulling them up on my phone.
Well, no worries. Well, we're going to start with basically Hardin and Nightcrawler are arguing, and Nightcrawler is like, there's creatures coming, and Hardin's like, well, what the fuck? I mean, what are you talking about? Like, Nightcrawler has no details, and Hardin's like asking for details. Nightcrawler's like, Hardin's like, who's coming? And Nightcrawler's like, I don't know, creatures. And Hardin's like, what are you looking for? He's like, I don't know, a sword. And Hardin's like, you give me nothing. You come to me telling me I need to do shit, and you give me nothing, so why should I do fucking anything? And like, listen, I don't blame him. He's not wrong. It's like, imagine someone shows up to your house and is like, you gotta go right now because something bad's about to happen. And it's like, okay, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's like, I don't know, but something's going to happen. And it's like,
sure. But here's the thing. My issue with him is before he actually starts even humoring Kurt's like concern or warning, he's just like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, because he just like is just that done with life. He has that much self-loathing, which, should be fair, I'm not trying to empathize with him. I think he's a piece of shit, but even he's kind of realized, like, with his choices and things like that he's like kind of fucked himself over, and he's kind of fucked. I mean,
listen, I fucking relate. Sometimes on like day 3 of my period, I feel the same way. So it's like, I relate. I get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, not trying to justify that jackass, but like, again, he's at a point with self-loathing, and it's like, dude, get your head out of your ass. If somebody warned you something's going on, like, just leave the circus area at least, see if something happens, and if it doesn't, you go back. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen if you listen to this dude in that aspect. But if you don't listen to him, you will not only die, you'll probably suffer before you die. Like, remember the suffering part, guys? It's not fun.
And the other thing, too, is that, so Hardin is also covered in flies. He's, like, disgusting. He smells, and he's covered in flies. And Kurt isn't just trying to save him. He's trying to save everyone in the circus. He's like,
right,
it's not just about you. It's about everybody. We need to save everybody. But before he even can get it through this guy's thick skull, Man-Thing!
Man-Thing! What up, Ted?
Man-Thing! I can't believe that we've had this show for how long, and the first thing we've given a, like, song to is Man-Thing.
We're supporting Man-Thing now, I guess. We'll see what he does in this series, but for now, we're supporting him.
We are stan-things for Man-Thing.
Stan-things, that's amazing.
So Man-Thing breaks in, and now it is a fight between Man-Thing and Kurt. And our boy, of course, he bamps out, and as he does with Jardine, he sees that there are just zombies everywhere. It has gone from 0 to Walking Dead in a very quickly.
Yes. And it's, it's just one of those things. They're all barrel rolling in to cause chaos, and Kurt's kind of flipping his shit like, what the hell do I do? But don't worry, because Kurt's not alone, guys.
No, that is true. He's got his people here with him. So first of all, one of these assholes calls him a Smurf, which is like, okay, that's
a fluffy Smurf. Who asked you, sir? Who hurt you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but he's got, and then they've got this other guy, Carrion, which I don't know who am I supposed to know who Carrion is?
I don't know.
I feel like that's like a deep cut. I feel like Roberto Aguirre Sacasa. Did I get it right this time?
You got pretty close.
I feel like he got on the wiki and he found like a super deep cut, and he was like, I'm gonna put this in there.
I mean, all I heard was Carrie something, so maybe it's like a alternate version of Carrie from Sex and the City. No? Okay, I tried.
Well, listen, so, when she puts her hand on you, it sucks the life out of you. So it did it to Samantha. That's why she's not in the
Got him. Yeah. Connected the dots.
So basically then Christine shows up and she's like, I'm here, girl. I'm going to help you. I'm triage. I'm going to take care of everything. I'm going to solve it. And then Logan's like, I'm here. I'm going to cut people up. And they're just ready to fucking fight everything. He's slicing and dicing. He's slap chopping. And Kurt is like, they're like, the zombies are like, we want the sword. And Kurt's like, the soul sword. What the fuck? I don't know. Why are you asking for the soul sword? I don't have the soul sword. Stop. Leave me alone. I want nothing. And then all of a sudden, they all go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Just like that. Night. All of them.
It's like, dream, 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 dream. And then, except Man-Thing. Man-Thing's just standing there. He's just like, I don't know. Whatever. But yeah,
he's
they're all
vibing.
asleep. He's vibing. He's chilling. He's vibing. But they show up, and then all of a sudden, the cavalry shows up. Literally, when I was like, you can ask Lauren because I was on here while I was finishing reading this. Mm-hmm. As I'm reading this, I come to this page and I'm like, yes, because Margali and Amanda show up with Nightmare to save the day. Let the women do the work. I mean, guys, come on, it's not about.
Listen, Amanda and Margali both look so good, but like Amanda's like magic outfit. That needs to come back. It is really fucking hot. It's really iconic. Like, what the fuck, Marvel? We just dipped out of that. Like, why would you do that?
That's true. And like her more recent magic outfit is nowhere near as hot as this one. This is so hot. It's so cool. With the big horns and shit.
We'll pitch it to you. We're more than happy to help manifest things again. We've had a couple successes here on the pod, so
Yeah, I'm gonna manifest it right now with the Oracle cards. Marvel Marvel, will you bring back the magic costume? Let's see. Okay. I pulled the Jubilee card. Be bright, be fearless, even in the dark. I think that's a yes, guys.
Yes, she's coming. We just gotta give it time, but she's coming.
She's coming back. Okay. So they show up. Turns out that Nightmare has put everyone to sleep because they need to figure out what the fuck is going on. And whatever's happening is big.
Yeah. They're like, oh my God, this is so huge. It has to do with like so much, the biggest magic you can think of. It's going to be exponential. Like, and then, of course, Logan's like, I hate this stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, fucking magic again with this stupid shit. Like, he's like, I'm Weapon X, not Weapon Magic. And they keep going back and forth about the sword. And Kurt keeps being like, why do you keep talking to me about the sword? I don't have the sword. I've never had the sword. It has nothing to do with me. And the whole thing with the soul sword is that it's this important weapon that is not just it's this important weapon for finding your way along the winding way, but it's not just it's also it's important in that it also corrupts. So it's very similar to like there's a lot of other things in that it's actually, what is the name of the Darkhold? It's like the Darkhold, right? Where like the more you have it, the more it corrupts. So that's what the soul sword is like, and it needs to be with someone who is like of a pure soul. And so it turns out that Amanda put it inside Kurt.
Yeah, it's just like vibing throughout his like entire being, both like mentally and physically. It's just there, and there's a couple like pages where he's like, what the fuck, there's absolutely no way, like where would it be? And then eventually Margali's like, let me show you. And then she just, uses her little magic and plops it out of his entire body. And there's some interesting narration where Kurt's, he doesn't feel it coming out. So he's like, when she, is ripping it through me, I don't feel anything. But once it's out of him, he's like, I feel such a like huge just burden and weight lift off my shoulders. And honestly, if Margali is here to relieve burdens like that, I need her to visit me and fix me. Pull whatever's in me out because I'm stressed. Right? I need these burdens out of me, girl. Call me.
Oh my God. Can I tell you? Let me tell you, I want to see the story of when Amanda put it in, because that would have been like the most awkward pegging experience of Kurt's life.
I would pay to see it. I'm here to manifest it. Where is Amanda pegging Kurt? I know, listen, sorry anybody that is like heavily against them as a ship. I understand. I'm so sorry, but I just think I would be very entertained reading it.
Basically. So essentially, once the soul sword is now out and it's like amongst everyone and everyone knows where it is, suddenly Yardine is like, oh my God, can I like hold it? It looks amazing. I want to see it.
Can I touch it, babe?
Can I touch it? It's been inside Kurt. I really want to touch it. So I get it. And Margali is like, no, it needs to be with an unpolluted soul, which like, girl, I mean, you're touching it. So
damn.
Really. Yeah, I mean, I'm going there. But Kurt gets it immediately that, Hardine is like infected with some kind of demon or something. Those flies that have been on him this whole time are actually more than just flies, because flies, as he says, the flies are the demon's familiar. So turns out that the flies start coming out of Hardin, and in fact, they are not. Hardin is not who he says he is. He is actually infected by the demon Hive.
Great. Stupid Hive. Who asked for you guys? Not me.
That's what I said. And not only that, but Kurt's like, everybody, close your eyes, close your mouth, close everything. Don't let him in. But guess who lets him in? Fucking Logan.
Damn it, Logan. Of course, it always goes into the killing machine. Like, you would think that Logan, who is like one of the best survivors and the longest survivors of anything, would like have the willpower to fight those things just a little bit better than like, you know, other humans, like people that don't have the survival skills he has and such. But nope, just right to Logan. Like, what?
Can I say, do you think, okay, and then the first thing he does is stab Christine, which, do you think he stabbed Christine before or after he got infected? Because I have a feeling he's been wanting to stab that bitch the entire time they've been in Germany. Like, I feel like since the beginning of the trip, since like Christine first got on a plane with them and was like, and put her seat back and he was sitting behind her, he was like, this fucking bitch.
Well, see, even if he thought that, like, on a surface level, like, he got annoyed by her and shit, which, yeah, totally. I'm a huge sucker for the whole, like, Logan has a big soft side, and even if he didn't, like, avoid violence with her or, like, stabbing her because he's annoyed with her for his own moral reasons, he would have done it because Kurt's there, and Kurt cares about her. He wouldn't have done that to Kurt. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't think he would have.
If he knew that he was about to be possessed by a demon and he could use that as an excuse, I think he would.
I don't think so. I think he would really regret it. I think if anything afterwards, he would either isolate himself and not talk to Kurt for like 2 months. And then maybe Kurt would find him and they would, you know, kind of force the conversation. So Logan would finally like apologize and say, yeah, I isolated myself because I felt guilty as fuck. Right. But no, I don't think he would actually do it. I mean, there is a possibility of what you're saying where he could have, like you said, been like, oh crap, I don't want her to get possessed. So then he thinks he's doing her a service. But I think that would have been genuine. I'm sorry. I have too much love for Logan. Even though I don't say it a lot, I have too much respect for him as a character to
I get it. I was like mostly joking. I really didn't think he was going to do that, but it's okay. And yeah, so Logan is now possessed by Hive, and that is how we end issue 2.
Episode. Welcome back.
Welcome back. I do want to say there is a Nocturne connection, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think that anything gets past me, all right? Because Hive is actually a character in Nocturne's world. There's a character called Hive who is part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, led by Cyclops.
Of course, it's fucking Cyclops.
Well, in Nocturne's world, Cyclops is the leader of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants because Wolverine, like, Jean Grey dies, Wolverine's part of it, and also Wolverine kills Xavier kind of because of Shadow King, and then Cyclops leaves and then forms the Brotherhood with Rogue and a bunch of other fuckers, and Hive is one of them, and Hive is like a bunch of bugs. But then Hive gets killed by Plague in Nocturne's world, which is kind of funny because Plague just like kind of touches Hive, and then they all die. And then Cyclops is like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, dude, you were trying to kill everybody, and then you're upset that like we killed your bugs. Yeah, this little kid did what a can of Raid was gonna do. So I don't know why you're so angry.
A mutant named Raid just kills.
Oh my god, could you imagine if there was a mutant named Raid?
R.I.P.
Could you imagine if there was a mutant named Raid, and then there was a mutant who was like a bug mutant, and they had to be roommates at Xavier's?
You know, that could be a fun webcomic. I think that'd be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
I want more little things like that. Like, I've been enjoying the little things on Marvel Unlimited, like the Marvel voices with the X-Men. Like, they did the Wolverine family recently, which was fun. Stephanie Williams wrote that. I want to see more little spinoffs like that like are just fun. So like you can read the canon like intense shit if you want. Like just give me dumb cute shit. Like honestly, listen, I just want a Sims game or whatever where I can play as the X-Men and just have an X-Men simulator. Do you know I would never stop playing that. That would be my life.
Can I tell you that there's a non-zero chance that Dreamlight Valley will eventually have a Marvel universe?
I hope it does, because I'm going to get it. Especially once the X-Men are in it. Sold. No questions asked. I will drop that money immediately. Marvel, take the hint.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Well, we have covered up to issue 10. We've only got 2 issues left, ladies and gents, and everybody else. It's going to be good. Oh my God, 2 more. Only 2 more. Well, I'm so excited. Yeah, just keep on reading with us. This is going to be awesome. After this, I think we kind of are going back and forth as to what we're going to cover after this. We're thinking maybe X-Men Gold.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to cover because there's a lot of things happening there.
There's a lot of weird shit happening in there. That's like where Kurt and Rachel get together.
Rachel's in it. We have to cover at some point then. So why not?
Some weird shit.
You know how I am with Rachel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's some fun stuff. And that's also where they have the Excalibur reunion, which is really cute and all that stuff. We'll see. I'm not promising anything. Again, I've had 2 glasses of wine, so please don't take anything I've said as anything that's happen.
We're working on it. But if there's anything you guys want us to cover, let us know. Because if there's something you guys want us to cover, we'll be sure to cover it as soon as possible. We'll make it a priority. I do know that, of course, we've got the Sins of Sinister event coming up in the current comics. Yes. So we'll be talking about that as well. So Sins of Sinister #1, I'm sure we'll cover. And then I'm kind of eyeing, we'll have to see what the issue's like, but I'm eyeing Immoral X-Men. I mean, that cover alone for the first issue with Emma stepping on Sinister, that's one of the best covers I've ever seen. I can't tell you why, other than I'm a whore. So,
I mean,
I want to cover it.
Let's do it. I love it. Well, thank you all so much again for listening and joining us. Of course, join us every week. Every week we're here. Sometimes we get COVID and the flu and we aren't here for a couple of weeks, but we try not to. We do our best. Yeah, we do our best. Lauren, where can they find you, girl? Tell them everything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do not have at-home Christine Palmers to keep us from getting sick, so we just have to make do with ourselves, unfortunately.
No, because Wolverine stabbed him.
But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI. You can also find the YouTube channel I do with like indie comics and stuff at MBHD Comic Show on Twitter, and you guys can join the Discord there if you want. So you have lots of ways to get a hold of me and bother me if you really want to for whatever reason. So it's a great time, ladies, gents, days, and gays. Be sure to check us out next week.
That's it, exactly. And you can find us on everything. We go to simplyamazingpod.com. All of our links are there. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Kind of on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, but we haven't done anything with it yet. We're on lots of stuff. I've been doing the Oracle readings on Twitter, and I've been having a lot of fucking fun with it. Also on our Discord, the Amazing Nightcrawler Discord. I've been doing the Oracle readings. They've been a lot of fun. Oh my God, there's a Howard the Duck card. That is so much fun. I fucking love this. I've also been putting up some stupid polls. The most recent poll I put up was what Real Housewife best friend would be the best X-Men villain. And right now, Kathy Hilton is winning. And I think that's amazing because Kathy Hilton would be a fucking killer villain. Like, she would be such a gaslighter. It would be amazing. So yeah, come find us on Twitter and all that stuff. If you want to be on the show, like, please let us know. We'd love to have you on to talk about anything and everything in the world, anything related to a Nightcrawler. And like, let me tell you, we'll relate whatever you want to talk to about said Nightcrawler. I'll make it happen. So please let us know. And if you are out there and you are covered in flies, you're probably a demon, but it's okay because you're simply amazing.